What seems like a mountain to climb for others is for Jungkook a normal routine. It is not exaggerated to say that he has turned the art of combining vocals and dance into a natural state of performance. He doesn't simply survive the challenge, he thrives in it, making the act appear as effortless as breathing. And this is where the discussion must turn. Why is it that something universally acknowledged as difficult appears simple in his case? When vocal coaches or dance instructors talk about the balance between singing and movement, they often break it down into training disciplines. Singers are taught breath control exercises, scales, and resonance. Dancers are trained in strength, rhythm, and agility. Rarely are these two arts fused at the highest intensity. The human body has limitations, and in most cases, performers choose a primary focus. Even within the world of K-pop, where idols are expected to dance and sing simultaneously, there is an unspoken acknowledgement that perfection in both is rare. Jungkook defies this expectation because for him, the two are not separate crafts to be stitched together, they are already unified. His body has been conditioned from an early stage to treat singing and dancing as a single act, not two competing disciplines. This mindset matters. Where another performer might think, I must dance first, then add my vocals on top, Jungkook thinks, I must perform both together as one expression. This perspective reduces the internal conflict between the body and voice. In rehearsals, this becomes obvious. Videos often capture Jungkook practicing choreography with live vocals, not substituting singing with humming or lip movements. His voice carries the same weight and stability it does on stage. What's most notable is his breathing technique. He doesn't let dance dictate his breath. Instead, his breath is coordinated with the rhythm, allowing him to place inhales and exhales exactly where they won't interfere with vocal lines. It's as if he has mapped his respiration to the choreography itself, synchronizing the mechanics of two different arts into a single flow. This is a reason why audiences frequently say he makes the hard look easy, because for him, the difficulty has been neutralized through years of integrated training. He doesn't approach practice as a vocalist trying to survive choreography, nor as a dancer trying to squeeze in vocals. He practices as a performer who has removed the line dividing the two. Perhaps the clearest evidence of Jungkook's unusual ability comes not from polished concert performances, where technology, adrenaline, and production value can sometimes mask imperfections, but from practice room footage. These recordings often show him in plain settings, no stage lights, no audience energy, no special effects, just his voice, his body, and his discipline. In these stripped-down conditions, one would expect any flaw to surface quickly. A shaky breath, a faltering pitch, a moment of exhaustion would reveal itself immediately. Yet with Jungkook, the opposite happens. His stability is almost more impressive in rehearsal than on stage. When the choreography demands a drop to the floor, a sudden spin, or a sequence of fast steps, his voice doesn't break. His tone remains clear, his vibrato steady. Listeners notice that his live vocals in these sessions often mirror or even surpass the studio recordings. This isn't because he is holding back on the dance, he is executing the moves with the same precision and intensity required for stage performances. The fact that both elements remain intact speaks to an almost unmatched level of conditioning. This is why, for observers, the difficulty of singing while dancing becomes most obvious when they try to compare themselves to what Jungkook does casually. Many dancers who attempt to sing during choreography find themselves gasping for air, losing pitch, or struggling with timing. Even professional singers who attempt simple dance routines often find their voices weaken. Yet Jungkook sustains both disciplines, not with visible strain, but with a kind of calm rhythm that makes it look routine. One of the most fascinating aspects of watching Jungkook is the illusion of ease he creates. Because he performs with so little visible effort, some may assume that the task itself isn't as hard as described. But this assumption collapses the moment one attempts even a fraction of what he does. Try singing a song while jogging lightly, and most people will hear their voices quiver or their breath break. Now imagine singing with precision while performing intricate choreography, sharp angles, floor work, fast footwork, and synchronized moves with other dancers. The level of physical demand skyrockets. What Jungkook has achieved is not simply the ability to perform under these conditions, but the ability to make it appear natural. He doesn't show the strain in his face. His expression remains connected to the emotion of the performance. His movements don't look compromised by attempts to conserve breath. His vocals don't sound shortened or rushed. This illusion of ease is part of why he captivates audiences. People sense the difficulty but witness none of the struggle. This leads to a deeper recognition. Jungkook has mastered not just the mechanics of the art, but also the presentation of it. To perform flawlessly is one thing. To make it look effortless is another level entirely. This distinction is why many regard him not just as a skilled idol, but as a rare performer whose abilities extend beyond technical achievement into artistry. For others, singing and dancing at the same time is categorized as an advanced challenge. For Jungkook, it is categorized as normal practice. This redefinition of what normal means is crucial in understanding his role as a performer. Because he treats the combination as standard, he raises the expectation not only for himself, but also for those who observe him. When fans or industry professionals watch Jungkook, they see someone for whom the supposed barrier between voice and movement doesn't exist. This changes how they perceive performance standards. It raises the bar for what audiences believe is possible. And it explains why so many people are astonished when they see his practice footage. They are not simply watching someone perform well, they are watching someone erase the difficulty that defines the art form for others. In this way, Jungkook's practice sessions become more than just behind-the-scenes glimpses. They serve as demonstrations of a performer who has transcended the limitations of his craft. The ease with which he sings while dancing is not a trick, not an illusion, and not a temporary success. It is the result of years of integrating two demanding arts into one body and one voice until the challenge itself disappeared. Every great dancer carries a natural sense of rhythm. Every great singer carries a natural sense of timing. But not every performer is able to align the two in real time without conflict. Jungkook's natural rhythm serves as the foundation that unites his dance and vocal work. His body instinctively follows beat patterns, and his voice instinctively rides the rhythm of melody. What separates him from others is that both instincts operate without interference. For many performers, concentrating on one will disrupt the other. If they focus too much on the body, their voice slips off rhythm. If they focus too much on the voice, their dance loses sharpness. Jungkook demonstrates the rare ability to let both operate in sync without requiring conscious separation. This natural rhythm becomes most apparent in his live performances, where no backing track masks the raw execution. His steps land exactly on beat, his gestures match the musical accents, and his voice maintains perfect alignment with the melody. Even when the choreography involves offbeat accents or syncopated movement, his vocals remain smooth. This level of synchronization is not merely trained, it reflects an innate musicality that few possess. Most singers, when pushed into high-energy choreography, begin to sacrifice vocal power because the body prioritizes oxygen for movement. This is why so many performers opt to sing softer during intense dance breaks or rely on background vocals to carry the song. Jungkook, however, sustains both without diminishing quality. His stamina has been built over years of relentless practice. Training schedules for idols are notoriously intense, but Jungkook's personal dedication goes beyond what is expected. He conditions his body like an athlete, focusing not only on strength, but also on endurance. This allows him to keep his breathing stable even when his body is under extreme physical demand. His cardiovascular endurance ensures that oxygen supply remains steady, giving his voice the support it needs even at peak dance intensity. It is this stamina that creates the impression of ease. He doesn't appear winded because he has conditioned himself to handle the load. He doesn't look drained because his body has already adapted to balance both tasks. For him, the act of combining vocals and dance doesn't feel like doubling the work. It feels like a single, unified exertion. While natural rhythm and stamina are key, they are only part of the picture. Jungkook's effortless performance is also the result of disciplined training that has stretched across his entire career. From a young age, he was placed in an environment where singing and dancing were not optional but essential. Rather than learning them separately, he was trained to fuse them from the beginning. This early integration means that he doesn't have to consciously add singing to dancing, or add dancing to singing. His practice has always been both. Over countless rehearsals, his body developed muscle memory for choreography that operates independently from his vocal delivery. This frees his mind to focus on expression, emotion, and connection with the audience rather than worrying about technical execution. What is especially notable about his training is its consistency. While many performers might reduce live vocal practice during dance rehearsals, Jungkook consistently uses his full voice. He doesn't default to humming or half-singing. This habit ensures that by the time he reaches the stage, his body already knows how to handle the full demand. For others, the adjustment from practice to live performance is a leap. For him, it is no different. This explains why, in practice footage, his vocals often sound as strong as they do on stage. There is no separation between training mode and performance mode. Every rehearsal is treated as performance. This discipline is invisible to most viewers, but is the very reason why he appears effortless when the spotlight is on. Perhaps the most crucial element behind Jungkook's ease is his mindset. Where others see a challenge, he sees routine. Where others separate singing and dancing into two categories, he sees one act of performance. This psychological framing eliminates much of the stress and tension that other performers face. If someone believes an act is difficult, their body often mirrors that belief. Muscles tighten, breathing shortens, concentration fractures. But Jungkook approaches the act with the mentality that it is simply part of who he is as a performer. This mindset allows his body to remain loose, his breath to remain natural, and his focus to remain calm. This does not mean the act is without effort. It means the effort is so internalized that it no longer feels like a challenge. In the same way a trained athlete doesn't think about every muscle while running, Jungkook doesn't think about separating voice from movement. His body simply performs the integrated act without hesitation. To appreciate Jungkook's mastery, it helps to contrast it with the struggles of others. Even highly trained singers often falter when forced to add choreography to their performances. Their pitch wavers, their breath shortens, and their tone weakens. Dancers who try to add vocals often discover that their breathing patterns are too irregular to support steady singing. Both groups face the same conflict. The body's natural demand for air during exertion collides with the voice's demand for steady control. Jungkook thrives because he has removed this conflict. His breathing is not dictated solely by physical movement or vocal phrasing. Instead, he has built a system where both share the same rhythm. This synchronization means his lungs never run out of support midline, and his body never gasps for air mid-step. Moreover, his mindset prevents panic. While others may become anxious when their breath runs short, leading to further instability, Jungkook maintains composure. He does not treat small obstacles as disruptions. Instead, his body adapts in real time, adjusting inhalations, controlling exhalations, and keeping both disciplines balanced. This combination of physical conditioning, mental composure, and years of integrated training explains why he thrives where others struggle. It is not that the task is less difficult for him, it is that he has dismantled the difficulty through relentless discipline and mindset. When all of these elements, natural rhythm, stamina, training, and mindset are combined, the result is effortless mastery. Viewers are left with the impression that Jungkook is not fighting against the demands of his art, but flowing with them. His body and voice operate in harmony rather than conflict. This is why his performances resonate so strongly. It is not only about technical ability, it is about the experience of watching someone transcend what is normally possible. Audiences are not just entertained, they are astonished. They witness a performer who has erased the boundaries that limit others, making the extraordinary appear ordinary. For Jungkook, the challenge of singing while dancing has ceased to exist as a challenge. It is now his normal, and that, more than anything else, is what makes him stand apart.